Hello and welcome to my vlog. Thank you very much. For those of you who are going to be here, I didn't leave out a notice in advance, so I've just come in and started this. Welcome. My name is Wandia for those of you who are new here, or Josephine. I'm Kenyan and I'm a retired I'm a retired worker, mother, sister, friend, and so many other things. I come in under so many titles and in so many names. So I welcome you here. I was actually planning to do a live earlier on, but I'm living with a baby and it hasn't been possible. So I thought now that I'm well rested in the night, it would be a good time to now come on and do this chat. So I welcome you very much. I'm Kenyan and I live in Kenya. That's very important to know. I just need to put a welcome note for persons that are coming in. So give me a minute, please. Yes, so that's done. Thank you for those of you who are in. I welcome you. I appreciate. I'm very grateful. I actually am not having coffee. I'm having do you call it mocha? Mixture of coffee and chocolate. I decided I thought first I should have a midnight snack. Then I thought, no, that's going to be so heavy. There's a flight passing by. I'm wearing socks. It's 4:11 a.m. here in Kenya. So it's quite cold. Actually, I was looking for one of my warm shoes and I have a rug over my knees. Ah, yeah, I hadn't put it on. I think I should sit this way just so that I'm more comfortable. And I like having my feet on the sofa and not on the ground when it's late night so that I can be comfortable. So I welcome you to my vlog. I'm very grateful to all of you who've subscribed to my channel. I'm now at 175 subscribers. I appreciate it so much. I'm so grateful because every time that I get new subscribers, I'm like, wow, we have somebody extra who's watched my channel and liked it so much that they're able to subscribe. I do not take it for granted. I don't take it for granted so much at all because it takes so much. If I remember the days when I was just starting out as a YouTuber when I had now purposed, um, when I had purposed now that I'm going to in sorry, just a minute. You have to share your links on your social medias when you go live so that you may be able to get as many people as possible to join you. Okay, yeah, that's done. Yes. So what I did was when I purposed to now start concentrating on my YouTube channel, and then I decided that I'm going to be doing some live streams. I'm sorry I got lost because of what I was doing, so I need to put my phone on flight mode so that it doesn't interrupt me. Yeah, today I'm happy for the first time in a very long while. I have something new. Yeah, I got new curtains for the house. What if you've been watching my live vlogs, especially my live stream late night or even in the any time past night, you'll see that I had a green checkered actually it was it's a warmer. What do you call them, like throw rugs? I was using it like a throw on my chairs. And I specifically bought it for my grandson so that when he's around, he's able to have something warm when he's lying down or somewhere place him on when he's getting changed and not directly over the seats. So it was a baby blanket, I'd say that. And that's what I've been putting up on my windows until my curtains got redone. Because I took out the old curtains and I purposed that I'm not going to put in anything until the new curtains are in, so that I could push myself to have the new curtains done and then hang up. And I'm very proud because as I said, this year I want to keep on ticking the boxes for stuff that is done that I had procrastinated about, and also developments that I'm doing in my life, which I know that once I finish, that's a hurdle that is gone, that is in the past, and then I can look forward to doing something else. And so that was one of the things that I'd kept on saying the whole of last year and the year before. I'm going to get new curtains. I'm going to get new curtains. And finally, I've done that, and I'm very grateful for this. I can also say, without any sense of fear or shame, that I've been very, very motivated by watching YouTubers, especially younger YouTubers, in their what? In their unstoppable um, efforts to beautify their spaces. I mean, I like the energy that young people have. And now over and over, I'm watching these young people, and they go all out to make sure that the spaces they are in look beautiful and are comfortable. And for them, it's not even a second thought. They don't even have an option that it could look less beautiful. No, they want it to look the best at any time. And yes, they've been my inspiration a lot, because when I'm hanging around with my age mates who are retirees, most of the time we're kind of laid back about appearances of our surroundings. Yes, we'll have nice things, but we're just comfortable with what's common and what's local and what can pass. Yeah, but more and more as I watch young people, they bring in me the youthfulness that I once had, the vigor that I once had to have the best and new around me. And so I felt inspired, and I was like, oh gosh, why am I dealing with this? And then finally I've done it. And I must say that I feel proud that that was accomplished and that's out of the way. And of course, I also feel happy because some of the things I don't do for myself, I also do for my visitors, I also do for my children. Yes, I want them to come and be in a space that looks beautiful, looks nice, they appreciate. They also want to, when they bring in their friends, they want to feel happy. Oh, mom did this. Oh, mom bought this. So I'm very grateful for that. The coffee I'm having is Kenyan coffee, very Kenyan coffee, in an old mug. I think I've used this mug before. That was bought by the kids as a present, I think for a birthday or something, years back. Don't worry about it being cheap. When something is special, it's all the better if it has some tears or some scars in it to tell the story of how long it has lasted. So before this, I was watching various YouTube channels on how to do what? On how to grow your channel. And I tell you, when I tell you that YouTube, social media is full of tips and hacks, and some of them are so fake, some of them are so repeated, some of them are so copied. You just look and you're like, oh my goodness. If you're a newbie and you're not very discerning, you'll be watching everything, you'll be trying everything, and you're going to get so frustrated because, like, some of the videos are like an hour long, half an hour long. And so, but it's very helpful. I'm always very appreciative of people who are trying to give tips on how you can grow your channel, how you can better yourself, how you can do this. But especially for me now as a content creator, I appreciate tips so much from people who can enable me to grow my channel further. I mean, it makes a very big difference. And of course, some methods are tried and tested and they're good, and some are not, are okay, they're tried. But what a lot of YouTubers do, which is very wrong. Okay, I can't say it's wrong because YouTube allows it. You're giving information, and as you give it, whoever wants to accept it is free to do so. But for me, what I've seen is that some of these persons that are giving this advice, especially if they come from the West, they'll they will usually not let you know that what they're giving is that what that sorry they will usually not let you know that the channels that they're referring to you to, some of the tips that they're giving you to, especially if they have links of any sort whatsoever, are links that need you to have subscription. And so it becomes so annoying. For me, it becomes so annoying because for a lot of us in Africa, okay, not just in Africa, but in a lot of the um, not underdeveloped countries, it's very difficult to just be a startup YouTuber and then you're able to subscribe to some of these channels. I mean, you want at most points, you want something that is going to be almost free, if not free. Yes, because subscriptions cost money and you don't have that money. You do not have that money to go and you're struggling to grow your YouTube channel and at the same time you're subscribing. So a lot of the times if I'm watching tips on how to grow my YouTube channel, I'll prefer to watch Africans. And in my preference list, I'll prefer to watch either Ghanaians or fellow Kenyans, but usually it's Ghanaians and Ugandans. I find that the tips that they give are more truer than by other people, even by my own nationals, the Kenyans. And there's no bias to this, but it's because in experience for over a long time when you're getting professional help, I've seen that these two countries in matters YouTube, they have they have content creators who are very genuine and who are very realistic and who guide very properly, and I appreciate that. um today was a slow day. Today is when the mother of my nephew, my sister, left, and my nephew now is so accustomed to being with me that we are very comfortable that he doesn't need to cry when his mother goes, and so I was so appreciative for that. And then hanging up these curtains was quite an effort. And the goodness is that my son had showed me how to use when you're putting up stuff in the curtain railings, what to use, because you sometimes you need what is it called, you need pliers to like unscrew some of the bolts that are very tough, and then you need a screwdriver also to loosen some of the screws. There's a screw that uses you have to use pliers to open it up and close it. And then there's another that needs what do you call it? The screwdriver, I think. Yeah, the screwdriver to unscrew. And so I just went one by one. And because my sister was around, I was able to do that very easily. And another thing that I'm pleased about right now, this late night, is that my house is looking very neat. And it hasn't looked as neat, so neat as much for a bit of a while. And that's because I have a toddler around. And I must say that sometimes, of course, I do get overwhelmed. Yes, I can manage, but I'm just human and I'm older now. And I get overwhelmed. And so when my sister came yesterday, for the first time in a very long while, I was I was able to be busy without getting distracted and without having to focus my attention 100% on the child, knowing that the mother is around. And so I was able to do some things. And sometimes we overlook small things as, yes, they might be daily things that we do, but they make a very big difference once done. And so when because I've had the toddler around, I know a toddler is not an adult who's going to tell you that, oh mom, you haven't kept away this and you haven't put this aside, or this has been here for long. So sometimes I'll kind of lag behind in doing something. But now when my sister came, because she was here and she was here overnight, I was able to do things, move around things, arrange things that I haven't done for a few days, and I'm so grateful for that. I wonder how it is for you people who do not have siblings. How it is when you don't have somebody you can sometimes rely on, or somebody you can call upon or look. Okay, of course, you have friends. And I guess some friends are as close to you as siblings are, but is it ever the same? I don't know. But you don't know if you don't have siblings, would you? I was also thinking as I prepared now to start this live stream today about YouTubers, because I think I watched a small clip of one of the YouTubers in Nyabohanse, and he was doing a live stream, and I'm thinking it's past 3 a.m. and this young man, because he rides a bike and he's usually moving around and moving around with his friend, a young lady also in Nyabohanse, but they do collaborations a lot. They work together a lot. And I appreciated so much the effort that some of these young people are making in order to make a living by doing content creation. I mean, it's not very easy. Being in the village, affording Wi-Fi, or even buying bundles. I don't know whether all of them really do have Wi-Fi, but I know that electricity has just come into that Nyabohanse village, and for a long time they've been using solar. So I don't think it's all the homes that have electricity, unless probably he's renting in the town. But I was thinking about life in the village, and then when you're a young person and you're negotiating through life and waking up at this hour to do a live stream, and it's probably going to be an hour, as I imagine most of us like to make a live stream last about an hour. It's so difficult. I mean, it's so challenging, and kudos to all the young people all over the world who are trying so hard to make a living out of YouTube, to do the decent thing and work, because content creation is work. Initiatives are work. I mean, for me to be awake now at this time, what is four something four? Um, it's now coming to 4:30 a.m. To be awake at this time and talking. It I've made a sacrifice of my sleep. I've made a sacrifice of the time I should be resting, but to come here, because I know that I need to do this. It's necessary for me to do this, and at one point it's going to pay, even if not today. So I give thanks to God for all these young people who are able to do that, because there are so many other young people who are seated idle, and not only just young people, but even youth. And youth goes on, applies to people up to 35 years. But we have so many youth internationally who are seated, who have smartphones, who have very beautiful phones, who have so much going on in their lives, and the life that they've chosen to live. And not only youth, of course, we even have older people than that. The life they've chosen to lead is that they have no source of income at all, and then they're forever asking, borrowing, begging, being supported by people. And I find it so difficult. I mean, I'm turning 60 and I'm here doing content creation, and primarily for the purpose of making money. So how much easier would it be for somebody who's young to also be able to do this? I mean, they have the time, they have the energy, they have the capability. So why not do it? I mean, just get out, go create something, teach somebody something, talk about something, give your opinion about something, just show something. Maybe it's just what's happening, the current affairs. Um, just go there and shoot. Content creation can be as easy as it can be difficult. If you're not doing anything that's too complicated, it's very simple. You just need to show, like now, what's happening in your hood, what's happening in your life, and it doesn't have to be personalized at all. It doesn't have to be personalized at all. You can just make it general, but just post something, or you can just post once a day. Huh? You can post once a day something that has happened in your hood, and that's going to be enough. But at least sit down and do something. Mm? At least sit down and do something and work towards you being an having an income earning project for yourself. But sitting down and relying on people when there are opportunities, when there are opportunities, no, that's not good. That's not good at all. And that's why sorry, and that's why I always say that content creation should be promoted in so many places as an option for income generation. And so even local leaders, local officers should be able to ask the populations if they have interesting projects that are going on, publicize them by content creation. And how much better if you're able to create news, and at the same time, while creating news, you're able to give information. It would be very good. So I'm hoping that more people are going to be able to just do content creation. If especially you're a youth or older and you don't have anything that you're doing in your life, try and do something. At least try very much to do something that is helpful to yourself and is going to be an investment for now and in the future. I really wish that that would happen. I have friends, I have neighbors, I have people around me, and I know that they don't, they're just sitting. But I always wonder, how nice would it be? Some of them have very interesting lives. And I think I've said this over and over again in my videos. There are people who have more interesting lives than I do, but they're not interested in content creation, what in any sense whatsoever. And they just have fears. And fear is one thing that, of course, puts us down so much. You know, you fear what people are going to think. I was talking to somebody and I told them, why don't you start a channel cooking because you cook so well? And they said, but my house, what my house looks like, I'm so afraid. What are people going to think? And I was like, what are people going to think? They're not going to think anything. They're going to appreciate it because that's your place. And maybe there's somebody who's just going to follow your channel because they're thinking you cook so well, despite the setting that you are in. So don't fear, just go out and start it. And you don't need a lot. You just need your camera and you have the camera with you. So, but again, it's the person has to have interest and it's very difficult. I just have a I don't know how to how to what. Oh goodness. I always have a problem with copying and pasting using the keyboard and it's very frustrating. So I'm not going to use that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So if you have a camera and you have an interesting life around you, if you sell stuff or you market stuff or you work in an environment where interesting things are always happening, I'd suggest to you that you start content creation. And you don't have to speak. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Excuse me. Excuse me. I spilled a bit of the coffee on myself. But it's a hassle. I can tell you that for me, it's a hassle. Right now, I mean, I don't anticipate that it's going to be a hassle forever because that's how everybody started. Everybody started with trying. And so I'm also going to start with trying. It's a hassle trying to working at getting views, working at getting subscriptions, working at getting clients. Because they are clients, really, your subscribers are clients, working at getting monetized. There are very many tips and hacks. And for me, maybe I can say that the biggest problem probably I've had is a lot of the ones that are workable uh, require some expertise, some technological expertise that has failed me to utilize because it's working with gadgets is there are people who are experts. I mean, they catch on just like that. For me, I must say that I've found one that was free, yes, but technically I was unable to do it, and I'm going to give it another shot this week, probably today in the course of the day until evening, and see if that works. But that is because the goodness with YouTube is that in as much as it has technicalities for getting subscribers and views, it also gives you such a wide option of shortcuts. Should I say it's YouTube or should I say it's other affiliate or associated? or same what S- um there are other channels that and apps that work together with YouTube to make it easy for YouTubers to get successful. I mean, they're in the business of helping YouTubers to get successful. So, and not all of them, as I said, okay, yeah, some of them need subscription, but not all of them. And so, some of the free ones, those are the ones that I'm talking about. They just need your technical know-how, and that has defeated me to date. The that I know that worked very well, but I'm going to give it a shot again, and I know it's going to be able to work. I managed to do my planting yesterday. If you're new here and you've not watched my videos, you might not know, but I'm a small scale farmer, subsistence crop farming. I do that on my farm, on my land. The piece of land that I live on is shared with my two sisters. And so, because they haven't yet settled here, I farm on all of it. And it's about an eighth of an acre, and I've already hived off a bit of it for our home. So the rest that is remaining, we have a live fence around it. I farm on it, and so I can say I was late for this, a bit late for the season, but I'm not the last to do planting late, and it's never too late until the crop doesn't grow. So because we still have rains, ongoing rains, I put my seed on the ground, and there's still moisture in the ground and the rains are ongoing, so I'm praying to have a good harvest. The crops that I have on in my farm include cassava. I have cassava that was planted about a year ago, and then periodically, whenever it's raining, I cut off the branches of the cassava stems of the cassava that is already grown, and then I plant them into the ground again so that I can have more cassava as time goes by. And so increasingly, I have more cassava in my field now. And cassava is a very hardy crop because no matter how lengthy the dry season is going to be after the rains have been, you're always going to have cassava that you can harvest and have as a meal. So I appreciate it so much. I've also planted trees over time. This rainy season, I haven't planted any new trees, and depending on how much I'm going to be having by the end of the week, if at all I get any money. I mean, money for me is very hard to come by currently. My children's help to support me, and I have various works that go on once in a while that pay me, but not sufficiently. They are not sufficient to sustain me. So my children assist me, and then I have a lot of I have a lot of obligations, of course, that that are financial obligations within the community and within my life, and so a lot goes into that. And then, of course, food for the house and the home maintenance. And that's why I decided to do content creation as an option so that I can be able to earn an extra income, and not just an extra income, but an income that is constant, that is reliable, a regular income. That's very important in my life right now. I run a community-based organization, but it's I had said this earlier, it's on its feet, and that's why I had posted out in my YouTube channel, on my vlogs. I'm currently giving out sending out what requests for assistance. If I can get any assistance to help me, it would I'd channel some of these funds not only to bettering stuff around me, but especially in doing stuff for the community project that I'm not able to. Currently, I have a lot of donations that have been offered. And the way it works for me with my organization is that when people call for donations, I go and collect them myself, irrespective of where they are, because these are people who are giving their personal goods, their personal stuff. They're giving away, they're doing clearances so that they can get more, or because it's out of it's they just need to get rid of it and then probably fill that space with something else, and they've done the cleanup specifically to help the vulnerable in society. And so I get very frustrated. Like now, when I'm unable to pick up loads, and the usual range for the farthest that I can go for loads in Nairobi is in the range of $50. And that's what has defeated me now. We're coming to the third week that I have this consignment that has been offered and I'm unable to collect. And when I tell you I'm frustrated, it's an underestimate. It's an understatement. I just feel so lost. But it is what it is, and I'm unable to do that now. But of course, a time will come when this will be different, when I'll be able to afford that little. And I've thought of also doing other things to be able to earn a regular income. And a bit of that was curtailed when I had to take in my nephew for personal and family reasons. And until I'm now free again and on my own, I can't start some of those other things because being with a child is involving. For me, at my age, I don't have the youthfulness and the vigor and the strength of a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old. So I cannot promise myself that I'm going to be able to multitask and do a small business on the side and then at the same time be with a baby. Yes, I possibly would, but it would possibly compromise a lot of what else I'm doing around the home and my health and my well-being. And yes, so I'll take it slow. I'll take it slow and continue to work slowly at what it is that I'm intending, and hopefully in a short while I'm going to be able to do that. But for the moment, I'm concentrating very much on what I'm able to do more easily while I'm with the baby here, and this is content creation. I'm focusing on this, and I know resilience and hard work pays. So I'm not going to give up on this. I'm not going to give up at all. I'm not going to stop making videos and quality ones. I'm not going to stop live streaming. I'm not going to stop working at my editing and trying to make improvements. And I'll still continue searching on the internet and finding out what other tips and hacks can I do to improve the channel, to grow the channel. Not only in terms of getting subscriptions, but also in what in getting viewership hours. Viewership hours are very important because you need 4,000 viewership hours in order to get monetized, and then 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers, I think, is the harder thing to get than the viewing hours. So right now, what I'm looking for is getting the viewership hours first, and whichever comes first, you do not ever get monetized by YouTube until both are consistently um um sorry until both have matched up, that you've hit the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 hours of subscription. But the goodness is that there's always a backlog. So if you hit one, I guess the preparation for monetization, immediately you're about to hit one of or both, then YouTube Studio, which is the management channel of YouTube, sends a notification out to you that it's time, you're about to qualify for monetization. So send in your details. And I can imagine the thrill that comes with that. I'm so looking forward to the day when that will happen. And then I'm also looking forward to the day when, because I've watched other YouTubers who've gone through this, when you've finally submitted your details and you've hit your 1,000 subscribers and you've achieved your 4,000 watch hours. And then I think YouTube now again not gives you sends you by mail a notification saying that you will start earning, and that is usually the earnings will start in the next month, and that must be so sweet. That must be so sweet. I'm really looking forward to that. Having worked most of my life as a freelance or commissioned sales agent, this is something that I'm very conversant with. I mean, earning from when your earnings are commensurate with only what you put in. Like, you don't work, you don't get money. You work hard, you get a lot of money. Yes, I understand that very, very well. And so I'm looking forward to it, and I know it's going to it will ultimately get easier once it ultimately gets easier once you're monetized, if you've been putting in the hard work before. Because now what happens is that all the old videos that you had, and that's why I consistently keep my videos to half an hour or more, is that the old videos now you get, once you have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers, there'll always be somebody who wants to look at some of your older videos, to watch some of your older videos, to comment on them, to like them, to check, go through your playlists. And that translates to more income, so that every video, the entire list of videos in your channel, you're getting paid for any views on it, any likes on it, and probably, I don't know about shares and everything, but I know the likes and subscribes are earning you every month for how much they are, for how much they get viewership. So it is towards this that I'm going to continue creating content, and I'm going to creating proper content and interesting content, so that it stays on here. And then when the time comes, when monetization has come, I want people to be able to look back into my channel and peruse through what it is I've been doing, and see that I had all, for all intents and purposes, I was serious about my goal, and I was working hard at it, and not just flip back and think, oh, before I got monetized, all I wanted was just to do the hours, do a 1 hour live stream, and then talk about nothing, do nothing, but make sure that it goes on. No, 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 no. It's very important, because some of the quality videos, if you're like now, when I'm doing a video, a live stream like this, the stuff that I'm talking at that point, when people have now subscribed and they are in probably their thousands, maybe it's going to be helpful to somebody. Maybe it's going to get more likes, more shares than other videos that I'm doing at a future date when I'm monetized. So it's very important at every point to give quality of what, or whatever you're doing. I tried to get into one of the apps that gives reviews about your channels, and one of the things it does is that it gives suggestion of channels that are like yours, and channels that you follow, I think, or something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, you have to be very discerning, because a lot of stuff here online is just, I don't know whether they are bots, just what can I say? They are just robots or something, because it had I was looking at the channels that it's suggesting that are similar to mine, and I was like, you wouldn't be serious, you wouldn't be serious. But again, that's what you get when you're browsing on the internet, and when you're looking at views of yourself. It's like asking people opinions about you. You're going to get quite a number of varied opinions. There are people who, I mean, everybody has a very, very differing opinion. And I guess I shouldn't say, I shouldn't rubbish them in any way, because, well, maybe for all purposes and intent, it might be that some of those channels have similarity to mine. It's just that I haven't watched them for long, and I haven't followed them for long. So it's okay. Um, we had the, I mean, we had the floods, at least yesterday and today. It hasn't rained very heavily, but that doesn't reduce the impact of the floods. I know a lot of the rivers, I've been watching people posting on social media the level of flooding that has occurred in some of the places. Even where I live, not very far off, the Athi flow. I didn't even know that was part of the Athi River, and part of it flows through between, I think, between Kamulu and Joska, for those who might know in Kenya, where we are. And in the dry season, that river is it's not even, it's merely a trickle, a stream, and it's over 10 meters. The bridge is over, should I say 10 meters? No, maybe 8 meters. 8 meters high. Okay, yeah, probably close to 10 meters. above the riverbed. And the width of this river, the valley of the river under the bridge, could be about 30, no, it could even be 60 feet. 60 feet? Um, no, maybe 80 feet, 80 to 100 feet wide. And I was looking at people posting that this river has swollen so much. It's just about, it was the time they were posting, it was just hitting the tip of the lower part of the bridge, meaning that if it rained anymore, it would rise above the bridge and be flowing above the bridge. And I was so horrified. I was so horrified because water is so dangerous. This is such huge amounts of water that were flowing. And I know how, if you're buying land around Kamulu, Joska, even Malai, you have to be very careful because the sellers will not normally tell you, and they don't need to tell you. Sometimes you just have to look at the layer of the land and find out what do you think would happen in the rainy season, and even ask people, how does it get here? Because I have friends who are not able to access their homes completely at all in the rainy season. And so I was so worried about people who live in areas along the river. And okay, it's buying land or maybe it's ancestral land, but I really think it would be so wise if there were just cautions for, I don't know, do rivers get widened by, I mean, can human beings actually widen rivers? Because if the outlets at further ends where there's less habitation of people, if those could be widened, and I know sometimes that a river's flow, the backflow, might be caused um by some characteristic ahead of the river which doesn't allow it to flow so hard, either a rock or some corner or some place where it's meandering, so that it goes and stagnates at a certain place, and then there's a big backflow. Okay, it won't be quite a backflow because it's going to rise then and spread across the place it is. But I know that the pace of a river can always be heightened if you create falls at any point. And it's just a question of studying the geographical area, pathways of rivers. I'm sure some things, it's just, I'm not an expert, but I know how water flows. That if you wanted to speed up the flow of the water and you wanted to reduce the backflow, the source from where it's coming from, you'd need to create a depression somewhere. And when there's a waterfall, the speed of the water coming is going to be faster, and you're going to have less flooding at the back. And these are just things that I think, and that's why I keep on insisting. And in the live stream that I did earlier on, Kenya floods, that I did today, these are some of the tips that maybe geographical experts and stormwater, what diversion experts, or I don't know which people are involved with management of water systems, the experts, they could probably look into that, so that some of these waters, because we can't control the magnitude of it, the rains are still going to be there and the flooding is still going to happen. But how possible is it to have diversions, even water wheels? I've seen what we see in the Netherlands, what we see in a lot of Scandinavian countries. I mean, even stuff like no, not the canals, but age-old tradition where they used to have water wheels. They were able to, even, in fact, sometimes if it was not possible to have, if the lay of the land was very flat and you need to the water to get, and there's another outlet of water that could allow this water to be channeled anywhere, but the ground level, the lay of the land is such that it doesn't allow for that water to get out anywhere. There's no low point. You could use water wheels, or now we have so much technology anyway, so that when the water gets to a certain place where it is at standstill, and it's just going to rise, and then the backflow is going to flood further back. Get a system of hydraulics which can allow this water to be pumped out in huge, humongous gushes into a lower depression further ahead, and away from where the residential areas are, and then have the water flow away. I mean, there are myriads of ways. How did the ancient people manage to control flooding? Because we can't say that there was no flooding. The environment was much greener then. And so I can imagine the water flows were really, really, really heavy. Egypt is one good place where I know they used flooding for purposes of farming, and I know that they still do so. Well, the last that I was reading about the agricultural system of Egypt, and this was from reports of I think about 20 years back. Yeah, I'm not updated with that. Was that the system of farming that they have allows for them to use the Nile and then flood the grounds for a while, but in a controlled way, and then until the ground is well soaked, and then stop the channels that they've opened for flooding. It is a sort of irrigation, but it is actually controlled flooding that they use. And so borrowing technology from countries like this would be so good for us to get to know how else can some of these waters be controlled, because it's all about channeling the stormwater. It's just about channeling the stormwater. And I mean in Kenya, by the way, don't think I'm talking about international scale of doing things. No, 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 no. Kenya, where we had floods, devastating floods a few days back, and where it's still they're still causing a very big risk to lives and businesses and transportation across the country in different places. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we should be able to try and do something else. I'm also very happy about having baby because it has stopped my romanticizing about love that I had a lot of last year. I think late last year I had a lot of loneliness, and I made a very concerted quest at should I call it a quest, or should I just call it effort? I made very concerted efforts at looking for online relationships, and it went totally wrong. Not totally wrong, but I was totally unsuccessful. And unsuccessful is not wrong. It's just that I was unsuccessful, and maybe it was God telling me in a way that that was not the channel I was supposed to use, or that wasn't the time for me. That is because it didn't work, but it gave me some experiences, and uh, experience is very good because it teaches you a lot. It opened my eyes to a lot of possibilities, a lot of uh, risks, to a lot of challenges, realities that I hadn't thought about before I went online dating. Real life. Why is my hair itching so much? And I washed it recently. Okay. It opened up. It opened me up to a lot of reality about, because also the few people that I managed to meet and to talk, even if it did not work with them, but at that time I didn't see it like that, because at that time I was so eager to get into a relationship, and I was so frustrated, and I was so angry at the behavior of some of the men that I spoke to, that I interacted with, and it just got me very annoyed. And you feel upset, you feel frustrated. Have you ever? I mean, it's in this age, it's of looking for love online. It can get very frustrated because it's not the conventional way of dating. And so sometimes people are doing things, and because they come from different cultures, from different places on this lovely earth of ours, their action you might misinterpret their actions to be what they are not. You might misinterpret their words to be what they are not. And so at that moment, in the moment that I was interacting with them, I made a lot of assumptions about them. And then later on, in retrospect, after getting a lot of online advice, after looking, because it's very natural nowadays that if you have issues, if you have problems that you can't understand, you'll go online and find out, what do the experts say about this? What are majority of the people saying about this? What are the experiences? In my case, it was, what are the experiences of other women the world over who are about my age and who have might have been doing the same similar thing and got the same similar reactions. What were their views about this? And then relationship experts also, what do they say about that? And then there are question specific answers sometimes that you get to to queries about, and not only queries but views about what your experience are. And when I went through a lot of the social media advisories and guide guidances, I can say, and opinions, I realized that it was, sometimes it was not even a question of intentional malice um, or intentional evil, or I don't know, just bad what lack of courtesy or anything. I realized that culture also plays a very important part, and then also realizing that the views of men, the the reaction of men to different things is different, varies from us as women. I haven't been in a relationship in over 10 years. I haven't been in a marriage in over what, coming to 30 years. Yeah. So times have changed, people have changed, people are going through experiences. My age mates who haven't, who are my peers, and the men, the age of the men that I'm seeking, which is about 65 and older. I mean, irrespective of how long they might have been single or widowed or just whatever, divorced or whatever it is, the experiences we've gone on, we've been in together in our separate lives at our age and being born of that era have shaped us into different beings. And so I had to relearn again how the events and circumstances of our lives come to affect your views on life and your opinions in relationship and your views about women and the different cultural expectations of different people, how that might interfere in how you communicate with one another when you're dating online. And so I'm at peace now with whatever happened. At one point, I was very bitter and I was very annoyed about it. But now I'm at peace with it. And I think if or when I do go back to online dating, I have a very different perspective of why a person would behave in a certain way, a person would talk in a certain way. I thought I had all that when I was setting out in the beginning, but then I realized I also have had and have my challenges that might make me come out in a way that I don't think might be also perceived by the other person the same way that I'm perceiving them, and which is just influenced by so many things around me. So it's not that I've given up, but I'm so busy that I'm not thinking about it. And I'm in a better space of mind right now, probably to be in a relationship. And that's one thing also that I didn't know before. I didn't consider before. I didn't put so much into focus before, that you have to be in a place where you love yourself first and foremost, where you're comfortable with your life first and foremost, before you seek a relationship. When you're at from a point of need, from a point of urgency, from a point of desperation, because then you're bound to make a lot of mistakes. But when you're cool, calm, and collected, that's the best time to be in a relationship, because you're very also stable in your decisions, and your perspective of things is also very different. It's very positive. At the same time, you're more discerning, and you're more discerning in a deeper level than when you're not your state of mind is not so stable, because you can see. You can see through a lot of, unfortunate to say, a lot of deception. You can see, you can catch the red flags, as relationships now term them. Catch a lot of red flags very much earlier. You can cut off communication very much earlier, and you'll always put yourself first, and you'll value yourself much, much more. You'll enter into this, and you'll get into uh, not a relationship, because it has to start as a friendship. It has to start just as communication. But even earlier on in the stage of communication, you're going to be in a better place to decide whether or not you really need to go further with this person or not. Because sometimes, not just women, but even men, sometimes in seeking for online relationships, online dating, which is what I'm doing primarily, when you have so much of a hunger, when you have so much of a thirst, when you're so desperate to be in something, then you ignore a lot of red flags that are coming with the person that you're chatting and communicating with. And by the time you've committed yourself to a certain level, you're in regret, and sometimes, very unfortunately, you've put yourself into hot water. I mean, in so many different ways. So I'm very grateful for that. I always am grateful for experience, because experience is invaluable. You can't put a price on it. It's getting taught at the home ground level. And I'm grateful for the persons that I interacted with. Um, and yes, sometimes also we trigger one another. You you, you, can, you can trigger other people, and they can trigger you, because of you both not being in stable mindsets when you're getting in on this. And the other person might also be getting in it out of desperation and also make mistakes. Or one of you might be ignoring all the advice and caution and what and yeah, advice and caution, I guess, from the other person, until later on you reflect upon it and then find that, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this, maybe I shouldn't have said this, maybe I was too irrational about this. And it's a learning process. It's a learning process. And so this year, I'm not going to dive into that as deeply as I did last year. I may still be on some dating sites. I'm not even checking on that. All that I'm concentrating right now is on me, on self development. And I have a hunch that, because I'm not into that so much, somehow love will find a way. Because deep inside, even as I go on with everything, I'm so interested. I'm so wishing that I can meet somebody to come into my life and share so much with me. And even the view I had before of what I want in life with a partner, I just wanted marriage and not maybe relocate and everything. Right now, I'm thinking differently. I don't even think I have the energy to relocate. I think even just having a close friend is going to be good enough, no matter whether they are close by me or at a distance. But I think I'll just leave it to, if I can meet a close friend, that will be enough. It will satisfy me on so many levels. The emptiness that I have on so many levels of romantic love. About marriage, that may come or may not come, but I'm right now, I'll just be satisfied with having a very good relationship, a very good, loving, understanding, and m- uh, mutually respecting relationship with a person who is able to uplift me, is able to encourage me, is able to make me laugh, is able to make me feel wanted, to make me feel loved. And I'm able to reciprocate all this. And we're able to share information, to share news, to share just stuff that is advisory to one another, probably share interests that we have, hobbies that we have. And there's always so much to do when you have somebody, irrespective of whether they are near or far. There are so many fun things that you can do together, day to day things that you can do together, just through social what through online communication. And so that I think I'll be satisfied with that. But I'm not going to let that now be my focal point of interest, so that everything else comes second to that. No, And that's what I did before. I put it at the forefront of everything. It was first seeking a relationship and then everything else. And so I'd get frustrated very easily, I'd get annoyed very easily. But this time, what I'm doing is that I'm going on with my life first. I'm focusing on everything else that is of priority around me. And then in the background, I'm hoping to find love. And I'm also hoping that love finds me. And then that way there can be a fairly good balance of my life, of my work life and my personal life and my love life at the same time. So I've come to an hour, and usually I just want to make it to an hour for for various reasons of having spoken to you. I'm glad for any of you that passed by. For those of you that passed by, I appreciate it very much. It's coming to dawn now. It's I think my neighbor, probably people, it's 5 a.m. So this is around the time when people with young children are waking them up to start preparing them, and house managers are probably rousing the house to do the necessary preparations for those who are going to be preparing the children for school. And for a lot of people, this is the time that they are getting up, probably doing some reflection, doing some prayer, and setting about a bit of difference between now and the next hour. A lot of Nairobians, this is their waking up time. And so if you're in Nairobi, or if you're in our time zone and this is the time you're waking up, I'm wishing you a good day. I'm wishing you a day full of goodness. For the rest of you in other parts of the world, if you're still already awake and going about your business, I'm just wishing you a lovely day also, or a lovely night. God bless you at it. And so I'm going to close this here and ask that may and pray that God may bless you and guide you and protect you and meet you at your point of need. Thanks very much for watching. Please remember to like and to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Your comments are welcome. And check through my playlists, please. Find out which one you like and leave a comment about any of them. They tell you a lot more about me. The live streams just help you to know what I'm thinking in the now. But my playlists have my daily life and my daily adventures and my work life and my opinion and views of current affairs and social issues over a different space of time. So those tell a longer story, and they also have a lot of my history. So thank you very much again for watching this. Come again, and I look forward to also being with you, and at a time that is coming soon, for you to be able to make your comments, post your comments here, and then we can interact as I talk. Thank you, and God bless you. So bye bye. Ciao, ciao.